It has been a difficult campaign cycle for Democrats when it comes to many issues. They've had to run from the economy, they've had to run from crime, they're running from the border. And another aspect of the Biden administration's domestic policy agenda, they're now having to run from abortion. It seems like at first it was the only policy topic that Democrats were eager to talk about. But what's been very helpful, and we've talked about it here on the program, encouraging Republicans to go on the offense and say, our position's not extreme. Protecting the unborn, that's not extreme. Where will my opponent draw the line? And that's what's happened through many of these debates. It's revealed just how extreme on abortion the Democratic Party really is. I mean, abortion all the way up to the day of birth. Well, this is now looks as if it's a winning message for Republicans protecting life. Joining me now to discuss this is Congresswoman Mayra Flores. She serves on the House Agriculture Committee and the House Homeland Security Committee. She represents the 34th District of the Lone Star State. Congresswoman, welcome to Washington Watch.
Thank you so much for having me and allowing me to be here.
Well, it's good to have you. I want to ask you about this. All we heard last summer after the Dobbs decision is that overturning Roe v. Wade would doom Republicans in the midterms. But that's not been the case. Those like yourself who had solid footing on this issue, who have been out there talking about their positions, but that has forced, with some effort, to get the media to ask the other side, what is your position? And that's not going over very well with Americans, is it?
No, it's not going very well for the Democrat Party. For example, here in South Texas, we've always been about God, life, and family and hard work. That is just who we are in South Texas. I was raised with those values. I was raised to always respect human life, and they're the extremists. My opponent supports abortion up to 9 months with no restrictions. He has no respect for human life. And, South Texas will never stand with those extreme ideas and views, and not just South Texas, America, the United States of America will never stand on those extreme views on abortion. We are pro-life.
Mayra, as I've been working with Hispanic leaders across the country, and in Central and South America as well, this is an issue that I find the Hispanic community very passionate about this. In fact, the polling in Texas, after Texas passed the heartbeat bill, the Hispanic community was probably the most supportive of the life position.
Absolutely. We've always been a community that respects human life. Again, that is just who we are. The Democrat Party, though, won't talk about that in South Texas because they know that South Texas and the Hispanic community has always been very respectful of human life, and they won't talk about their extreme views here in South Texas. For example, my opponent never mentions that he voted for abortion up to 9 months with no restrictions. He doesn't say that. He only says women rights, that I am against women rights, when in reality, they're the ones that are against women's rights. I am for women's rights, and it starts at the womb.
It just doesn't seem to me that would stick, that you being a woman would be against the rights of women. Now, President
Exactly.
Biden, speaking of elections, now President Biden has been clear that if the Democrats, by some miracle, hold on to the House and the Senate, his first, he said this, his first priority is to codify abortion on demand until birth. Does this show how important this election this coming week is?
Absolutely. This election is about saving lives, saving human lives. It's heartbreaking to see what's happening in our country and how far the Democrat Party has gone so far left. They're supporting, values that we don't represent. That is just not who we are in South Texas. And it's heartbreaking because I just never thought that the Democrat Party would be supporting, these types of views. up to 9 months with no restrictions. I mean, we have a senator here in South Texas, Senator Lucio, who has been a Democrat, who is a Democrat all his life, but he's always been pro-life. Always been pro-life here in South Texas. He's always voted pro-life. Why? Because he understands that we don't mess with human life. And he's always respected, the mother and the baby in the womb, always, even though he's a Democrat in South Texas, because that is who we are. So I'm very proud to say that, people like him have always put the political party, aside and has done what's right. I'm going to always do what's right, not necessarily what's politically right. And I believe that we need more schools and more playgrounds and not abortions.
Well, I agree with you, and I would just want to say we know that that's what you believe, and that's what you've been very outspoken on your pro-life positions. We're grateful for it, and thankful for your leadership on this issue, and look forward to working with you on Capitol Hill. Thanks so much for joining us today.
God bless you. Absolutely.